Hey, good morning, everyone. Get rid of some of the clutter that's in my background. Check to make sure my microphone is on. Good morning, world. Let me just want to share in the comment. I'm going to put a link to what I'm going to be talking about this morning. So today, for this A Mindful Approach to Weight Loss workshop, what I want to do is encourage you to start really focusing on the things that bring you joy, the things that are wonderful in your life. So we are all going through this stressful time. I'm an introvert. I love being home, and I'm really starting to feel the cabin fever worse than any winter that I've ever experienced because I know that I'm not supposed to go out. And so today I thought if you're feeling the same way, I would share some ideas for some activities that will help you become healthier and help you to lose some of the weight you want because it serves as a distraction to just focusing on the food all the time. In one of the Facebook groups that I'm a part of, in the last couple of weeks, the tone of the messages have changed. I've noticed more of a despair is the word that comes to mind. That these women, they're just feeling so weighted down by the responsibilities of everything that's going on because the world as we knew it is no more. And whether it will ever return to some semblance of that, we still don't even know. And so they're really diving into focusing on their weight. And it's become somewhat of an obsession. But from the feeling that I was getting from it, it's not a healthy obsession. It's, like I said, despair is the word that comes to mind. And we can fall into that trap where we just start focusing on what we're missing out on. Most of us are probably feeling like we're missing out on a lot of activities. Many of us are missing out on being able to go to our jobs, and whether we like them or not, we like the social interaction. Sometimes we even thrive on the social discord that's in our workplaces. We're not used to the peace and the quiet and the being home and the uncertainty. So like I said, we're going to work or focus on something a little bit different this week. So a year or so, I created this Healthier Habits starter program so your life can be all you want it to be. And I did put a link in the comments so you can download your own version of this. You don't have to give your email address. This goes straight to Google Docs and you can download a copy or just take a look at it there. Okay. Now, when I created this, I had two main goals in mind. And so these are those two major objectives. You'll experience the power of making small changes in your daily routine that positively impact your physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual health. Because again, I'm all about your health and your well-being, including your weight loss journey. When you think about your life and the things that matter to you, most of us say our family, our health, and then the actions we take don't always match what we say are most important to us. And so in this mini guide, I share some things to help you rekindle and reconnect with the things that really give you joy and give you pleasure. It's also an opportunity to honor and to respect and to help your physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual well-being. The second objective of this mini guide is so that you'll experience the huge benefits of feeling less stressed, less frustrated, more energetic, and more in tune with who you really are. So let's dig into it. I'm not going to read you all of the first couple of pages. I just have some information about kind of what I want to accomplish with this mini guide. But one thing I do want to say, I always talk about our habits. They're so important. I've talked in past workshops. This is just when we go on autopilot. All of our autopilots have been disconnected in the past 6 weeks. Life is uncomfortable, it's uncertain because we're not in our normal routines. And probably by now you've started to create some new routines, and that's good. Our brain is so capable of doing that. So Charles Duhigg, who is the author of a book called The Power of Habit, he said it is human nature to revert to established habits in times of stress. Think about that when your life starts to feel chaotic outside of the current situation, because this is just so chaotic. When you're feeling stressed, things are not going the way you want, we fall back into our common habits. A lot of times, this is how we're eating. You reach for a candy bar because you feel satisfaction, you feel some sense of relief, like you have some control when you reach for the food, because it's always worked in the past. It's always worked in the past. It gives us that momentary sense of control and that pleasure that comes with eating the sugary or the fatty foods or whatever your go-to comfort food is. But then it doesn't take long before our chatter mind starts saying, well, why did you do that? I thought you wanted to lose weight. And we start beating ourselves up. That can be part of our habit too. That's why I encourage us to take a deep breath. Yes, I overate. I accept full responsibility for that choice. I did it. Okay, time to move on. Let's see if I can figure out why I overate, why I made that choice, what I was hoping to gain, what I was hoping to feel and experience in that moment of overeating. So remember that when you're feeling stressed, you're going to revert to past habits, something that's comfortable and familiar, something that produced a result that you know you can handle. And that's what our habits do. So it's time to retrain ourselves to practicing different habits so that we know that we can count on those during times of stress. And that's what these activities are all about. So dun, dun, dun. So the first activity is to go for a walk each day. Every day. Start with 5 minutes, start with 10 minutes, depending on your current physical abilities. If you're very overweight or you're very sedentary, don't go out trying to walk a mile. Just go out and just walk for 5 minutes or for 10 minutes. When I first started walking many years ago, I would walk from telephone pole to the next telephone pole, and I would always look ahead, but a very short distance ahead. And each time I reached that point, I could give myself permission to turn around and head back home. Or I could say, you know what? I think I can get to the next telephone pole. This is how we develop that habit, that system, and that routine of pushing ourselves a little bit further without setting our expectations so high when we first begin that we start failing because we walk too far and then we're sore or we're too tired, or it was so uncomfortable for us that we don't want to feel that discomfort again. Remember, our brains try to avoid discomfort. So if you can walk a short distance, telephone pole to telephone pole, 5 minutes or 10 minutes, a small loop around your block, depending on how long it is, set something that's really easy. Yes, I said something that's really easy. These are small goals. Because then when you do that, you can say, I did that. And it felt great. And then you may choose, again, depending on your physical condition and your health, you may say, you know what, I'm going to do a second walk around that block. And we can keep adding to that. But we start low. We set the bar so low, because then anything above it is something to celebrate. You may be saying, okay, Donna, walking 5 minutes a day is not going to give me the health benefits that I want. You have a very deep voice, by the way, Donna. You're right. I'm not going to lie to you and tell you that 5 minutes of walking every day for the rest of your life is going to give you the health and the well-being that you desire. I will promise you it will give you more health and well-being than you're currently achieving by not walking. You know why? Because walking has so many benefits. This is number one in my mini guide for so many reasons. Walking, I believe, is the most powerful gift you can give to yourself, especially when you reach beyond the 5 and the 10 and the 15-minute walking time. Here's why. Walking gets your body moving. And as you increase your well-being and your ability, you start to walk faster. And I'm going to talk in a minute about some days when you're going to choose and prefer to walk slower. But as you start walking and you start to feel your body feels better and it feels in better condition, you're going to start walking a little bit faster. Not race walking, just picking up your pace a little bit. Your heart rate is going to go up. Cardiovascular health is huge for making you feel better. You're going to be pumping your arms a little bit or a lot. It's getting the shoulder joints moving. You're working your legs. If you hold your stomach in as you're walking, that's working your core muscles. So there are so many physical benefits to walking. And then as you get beyond the 15-minute walk, this is when you can really start to do some deep thinking. You can do some learning. There are podcasts, there are audiobooks, there are your favorite music, there are online courses that you can download to a smartphone and listen to those as you're walking, which is what I do frequently. So while you're walking, you can exercise your mind, your intellect. You can start learning things that you've wanted to learn, whether it's about science or it's about history, or it's just a good, relaxing novel that you want to listen to. You're giving your brain the time to learn new things or to relax and enjoy and be entertained. While you're walking, if you choose, and sometimes this happens to me even when I'm listening to a course or a podcast, my brain kind of goes off into la la land. And it's a great time to reconnect with yourself spiritually and emotionally. What am I feeling as I'm walking? There are days when my walk is very quickly, if I'm feeling stressed or I'm feeling frustrated, kind of those negative emotions, I can walk them right out of my system. And I walk using a brisker pace. And I just kind of, I just huff and puff those emotions out. And then there are other times when I'm just feeling very reflective and calm. And I slow way down. And I just allow this time of walking for the health benefits, the overall health benefits, I just use that time to reconnect with myself. And there are times when I've been out walking when, tears just start coming down my face because I've connected deeply. And when we're scurrying about in the hustle and bustle of daily life, we don't allow ourselves that time, that space to be able to do that. So walking is hugely benefit for so many reasons. And during this time of chaos, instead of reaching for a snack, if you just say, you know what, I'm going to take a 5-minute walk outside first and allow that to distract you for just a few moments. When you come back, you may not be reaching for that snack. Okay? So that's the first one. The second healthier habit that you can start, is just to drink more water. This is huge. In fact, I'm feeling myself a little thirsty. Let me step out of camera. Sorry. To grab my water bottle. Water is so key for your good health. Did you know that frequently when people think they're hungry, they're actually thirsty? I may have said that before, I'm not sure, but apparently that's the case. And so if you're reaching for food, instead reach for more water. Anytime you're ready to eat a snack, have some water first, whether it's just a sip or whether it's, a full 8-ounce glass or even more. Add a little bit of water into that daily practice, that habit of whenever you're eating. Drink some water with it. We know that things swell when they're in water. So if you're eating something else and there's some water there already for it, it's going to help you to feel full faster. The other thing I have here, ooh, I almost overlooked this one, is to just listen to the sound of water. So if you happen to be outside and you're near someplace where there's a brook or a waterfall or any type of water, this afternoon here in southern Maine, it's supposed to rain. Listen to the rain and just take 2 or 3 or 4 minutes and just sit and listen to the water. As you're doing dishes, running water in the sink, washing your hands for those 20 to 40 seconds, allow yourself to just listen to the sound of the water. One of the, the elements, water is one of the elements. We have earth, water, fire, and air. So it's a key part of our universe, of our world. And so allow yourself to just truly value water. The sound of it can be so calming. Some people can go to sleep with the sound of water. They use it as white noise. The sound of water in the shower can just feel so cleansing and so healing. Just, do you ever pay attention to the sound of water in your life? If you don't, I encourage you to give that a try. It's amazing. So the next items I have is to take the time to create. And whether this is artwork, it could be journaling, it could be singing, some type of music, it could be dance, creative movement, whatever create means to you. It could be baking. Be careful with what you eat. But there are so many opportunities for creativity. Taking the time to create, I believe for many of us, I won't say all of us, but I believe for many of us, feeling the need to create is an innate part of who we are. It's something we long to do. And yet so many of us don't make the time to do it. We don't take the time to do it. And creating something can be something that's on your to-do list. A recent project this weekend, I definitely overworked. A few months ago, I had a toilet that was leaking. So we had to pull the toilet out. I tore up the vinyl flooring because I hated the flooring. We repainted the floor, but I knew that if I wanted to do this bathroom the way I wanted to do it, it was going to be a huge, huge, like total remodel, except for the tub. And then life truly, it became overwhelming for me, and I just kind of shut down. So we put the bathroom back together as best we could, but it's been not pleasant. And so this past weekend, I went out, I bought the paint, because of course, if you're redoing your bathroom, you have to paint it, right? And everything goes with it. So on Saturday, I repainted the bathroom. And then on Sunday, I laid down some new tile for it. So just a press and stick vinyl tile. And I still have to finish that, which I'll be doing this afternoon. But this task that was on my to-do list for so long, that was feeling so overwhelming, as I was doing it, working really hard, working my shoulder a little bit more than it really needed to be worked, working my hands, cutting the tile, put a lot of pressure on my hands. So I'm feeling the discomfort, which my brain is saying, you shouldn't have done that. But I walk into that bathroom and I look at it and I say, oh my gosh, I created something so beautiful. So you can put the creative energy into things that are on your to-do list, but you transform it from a chore to a creative endeavor. And that's really the approach that I took. When I went to buy the paint, I was looking online at colors, and it's like, well, is the color the same as what I'm seeing on my computer monitor, is what the paint chip will be when I get to the store? All of these questions, and I love the color. It's this really pale green. It's called like sea mist or something like that. But I love it. And so being able to express myself creatively with the logical, technical parts of cutting the tiles so that they fit into place. Not real good at that, but I'm making something beautiful up there. I am also working on just painting and writing again. So Find some creative pursuit that you really enjoy. You have the time now. Well, most of you. I'm sure some of you probably have small children. You're doing perhaps the work from home thing as well as the teaching of your children. I get it if you don't have time. For you, I would encourage you just listen to the water. Take a few minutes and let yourself just close your eyes if you're comfortable doing that, and imagine the water in your sink or in your shower as a magnificent waterfall. And you're just standing under there. Perhaps there's some fairies and some elves that live behind it, leprechauns with their pots of gold that live behind the waterfall. Giving yourself this time to play and create. It's a great distraction from food and from the stress that you may be feeling. The next one, further back, you'll notice for weight loss is choosing healthier foods. And focus on healthier, not healthiest. We always have choices to make, and we don't have to beat ourselves up if we don't choose the healthiest thing all of the time. But you can make a healthier choice, and whether that's based on the portion size, or instead of eating candy, you eat a piece of fresh fruit instead. And sometimes for some of us, what helps is to eat the fresh fruit and the snack that you wanted, because then our brain doesn't feel like you're depriving it. You're not missing out. But when you have an apple and then a candy bar, you'll notice the difference in the sweetness. And you will find over time that the sweetness of the apple is more satisfying than the sweetness of the candy bar. Give it a try. If you don't believe me, give it a try. And that's one of the ways that we can change a habit, because then you'll reach for the apple automatically, and soon you'll start to realize, well, I want to lose weight. The apple is satisfying. I don't need the 200-calorie candy bar. It's really beautiful the way that it can work, and it's so simplistic, but it's identifying and disrupting that less than healthy habit and inserting something that's healthier that will eventually replace it. I hope that makes sense. So you can always swap out those less than healthy food choices for something that's healthier. Another thing you can do is just start focusing on your posture. Correct your posture. If you're feeling like you're slumping, and it was last week or the week before that I talked about our posture as we're approaching the food that we're eating. Are we slumped and head down and feeling a little dejected, perhaps that feeling of despair that I talked about earlier? Are we feeling confident and happy? And our posture conveys that. And as we get older, when we become hunched and slower and the droopier, closed in feeling, it makes us appear older, it makes us feel older. But when we're sitting up tall or standing tall and we have our shoulders back and down and when we have our bellies tucked in, that's when we start to feel more confident, more capable, more in control of what's going on. Now, the feeling of control may be a complete illusion. That's kind of how I feel with this coronavirus COVID-19 situation, stay-at-home practice that we have going on. I don't feel like I have much control, but I do have control over my posture. I do have control over my response to things. Our posture reflects that. And when you're not feeling something, changing your posture can help change the way you're feeling. If you're feeling sad and gloomy, force a smile on your face, even if it's one of those painful, cheesy ones. Hold it long enough and you start to relax and you start to think about how absurd you feel. And that releases the natural feeling of laughter. Oh my gosh, I'm just so crazy. This is ridiculous. And it allows you to release it. And then the smile becomes real. Give it a try. Play with your posture a little bit. And again, this can feel uncomfortable getting yourself realigned. Our brains don't like the discomfort. It would rather the familiarity of being stooped over. Take yourself off autopilot, create a new habit, identify when you're feeling hunched over, stand up straight, sit up straight, head up, chin kind of down, shows my many chins. This is, I heard on a Udemy course lesson that I was listening to this morning. He was talking about the world doesn't need more information. They need more insight into themselves. And so as you're looking at your posture, I don't need to tell you how to improve your posture, although I just was. Seek inside yourself, search inside yourself for the insight that your own posture can give you for how you're feeling. How you're feeling is a reflection of what you're thinking. And if you're thinking it's hopeless, why bother? Your posture is going to reflect that. When you make the effort to fix your posture and you start standing taller, sitting taller, shoulders back, stomach in, head up, and you start feeling like, well, this is a little uncomfortable, but yet it does feel more open. And then you start thinking, oh, maybe this will change things for me. Maybe this will change the way that I'm looking at the world, the way that I'm feeling about myself. And you start changing the way that you're thinking within whatever the circumstances are. So give your posture a try. And then I go on to a few things that you can do. This is practice grace. Be kind to yourself on days when you make those less than healthy choices. Forgive yourself and move on. Practice grace. This isn't about beating yourself up. This is about your life. This is your life. And do you always want to be beating yourself up, or do you want to show yourself some grace, some kindness, and some compassion? I'm going for the love, okay? So I hope you are too. Show yourself grace. Learn from things. Gain that insight. You have enough information about your food choices, which are the healthier choices. You have so much information. Look for the insight from within. Show yourself grace when you make those less than healthy choices. Trust that it's just your brain. Your brain hasn't learned yet what you want, but your brain still has your best interests at heart. Your brain is there fighting for your survival every day. It's always looking for what could go wrong and the harm, because that's important for survival. In our modern world, even with COVID-19 out there, typically we don't need to have that full-on brain alert. But when it is on alert, show yourself grace and say, thank you, brain, for keeping me alive, keeping me well. And then there are times when we practice ourselves a little bit too much grace. We let the 2-year-old, 3-year-old run wild with no controls. And when that happens, I encourage you to practice some adulting. There are times when even if you don't feel like doing it, just do it. I remember one time a woman was telling me, I got home from work and I just didn't feel like walking. And so I sat there and I thought, it was a hard day. It's kind of cold outside. I don't want to go for a walk. And then it occurred to me that I spent more time trying to talk myself out of walking than it would have taken me to put my shoes on and head out the door to walk. And yes, if you haven't guessed, or perhaps that woman is also you, that woman that said those things to me was me, because that was very much a part of who I was frequently and who I still can be occasionally. But because I have practiced adulting over the years, and even when I haven't wanted to put on my shoes to go for a walk, I do it, and I don't regret it. And the more you do it, the more you overcome the voice that says, oh, I don't wanna. And the more you do it, the less often that inner child is going to be screaming in your ear and saying, I just don't wanna. I don't wanna. And you just say, do it. Just get it done. It'll be over and done with before you quit your moaning. As soon as you quit your moaning. And that's what happens. And you won't regret getting outside to take a walk. You won't regret the time that it takes just to sit up straight, even when all you want to do is hump like this. If you're hunching down like this and you're saying, I don't want to sit up straight. Okay. Just say, I'm just going to do it just for a couple of heartbeats. Yeah. Ba-boom, ba-boom, ba-boom. Oh, and I have that scene from Dirty Dancing coming into my mind when Johnny Castle is showing Baby and teaching her how to, the beat of the rhythm, the beat of the music. So there are things that you can do, small changes, just to get started. And then they progress and they snowball. And before you know it, you have a healthier and a happier lifestyle, doing things you forgot you loved to do, doing things you've always wanted to try, because you're taking that time to do them. So I would love to hear your thoughts. Leave them in the comment. If there's one of these activities in particular that you would like to practice, I encourage you to do that. And if there are many, I encourage you to do that. And at the end of this mini guide, which I don't have it included with my copy, there is a habit tracker. Now, if you choose one of these habits and complete that habit 25 days out of 30, rolling calendar, so it doesn't have to be like the month of May that I have to do this, 25 days out of 30 days straight. If you complete that, send me an email and I will do a free one-on-one card reading with you. Okay, so that could be a lot of fun. Hopefully that's a little bit of motivation for you to do that. So so just get started. Things are tough right now. I get that. It's also a perfect time to really start thinking about who you are, how you want your life to be as we move forward, what things are most important to you, and just start taking small actions towards reaching those goals. You don't have to go overkill. You don't have to say, oh, I really want to start painting, but once I go back to work, I won't be able to keep it up, so why bother? Start. Just start today. Give it a try, okay? So I want to pull a card for you. Let me grab this deck. So these are the Wild Offering Oracle deck by Tosha Silver with the artwork by Katie Daisy. Let me just give it a couple of really bad shuffles. No pressure, Donna, to shuffle the deck well. One more. And I'm going to pull a card right out of the middle, and the card is Travel. Let every aspect of this trip unfold in harmony. May divine order arrange and handle every detail. I'll be guided easily and follow the leads as they are shown. Travel. Life is your journey. You are traveling in this time and space. Today, you are traveling. You may not be traveling far. Stay local. You may not leave your home. Stay at home. You are still traveling. Let every aspect of this trip unfold in harmony. Is there harmony within your home, within what you're doing? May divine order arrange and handle every detail. I'll be guided easily and follow the leads as they are shown. If you're feeling disharmony, if you're feeling ill at ease, practice one or more of these healthier habits. They will help you to reconnect with your mind, your body, your spirit. They'll aid you in reconnecting and recovering and reclaiming your physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual health. Have an amazing week. Again, I would love to know if any of these habits intrigues you and if you're going to make a commitment to practice any of them or any other feedback. Have a great day and an amazing week. Bye.